Good afternoon, this is Shona Smith from the National Family Learning Network. I'm a project officer with the BASIS project, and today we're going to review the do's and don'ts of bid writing with a successful bid writer.
Thank you, Shona. My name is Andrew Turnock and I'm a project manager at Routeways, a voluntary sector organisation.
Andrew, just to give people a feel of what you know about bid writing, could you tell us approximately how many bids, types of bids that you've written, and what percentage have been successful?
Over the last 3 years, I've written 20-25 bids, ranging in values from 5,000 to 500,000. Success rate, I think a modest sort of 60% success rate.
Sounds good to me.
I've also written tenders and been through the tendering process 4 or 5 times for different projects.
You've had a lot of success, so 60% is a good rate of success. So what would be your top tips for successful bid writing?
My first top tip would be to build it based on need and fit the needs, and don't try and fit the need to your idea. So by that I mean, work with beneficiaries right from the start and get to understand what are the needs and get them involved in the bid and consult with them, work with them, be creative around that consultation, because that's really good evidence to be able to show the funder what those beneficiaries are saying and then translate that need into a clear way to create the bid. I don't write all the bids. I'm involved in writing some of the bids. We work together as a team really in bid writing, within the senior management team and the executive team, and all the bids are overseen by the chief executive, who goes through it and picks it apart and makes sure it fits with the overall objectives of the organisation. Try to avoid anonymous bid writers where possible. I think it's very important that the bid writer is somebody who has been involved in the consultation process, has been involved with working people on the front line, been involved with working within the community, and can represent that need in a really clear way and in a way that people are going to be able to engage with and understand. Also, avoid jargon. Don't make assumptions. And one of the most important things is read the question and answer the question. It's always a tendency, especially when you're overexcited, to tell the world how wonderful your project is, but never actually explain what the project is. So it's always good to, within the first sort of 200, 300, 500 words, or whatever they ask in the explanation of the bid, to actually start off with the aim. So the overall aim of this project will be to, whatever, and then break it down there and go on to your objectives and your outcomes and so on and so forth.
We've said 60% of your bids have been successful. Can you reflect on any unsuccessful bids and your knowledge of the process? Have you any definite don'ts in terms of bid writing?
Don't get complacent. I think it's fair to say that once you've had a couple of successful bids, it's easy to get complacent and then overstretch yourself. I guess that comes back to your understanding of need. And as an organisation, if you're working in certain areas, you have a better understanding of the need. The projects that you do, the pilot projects that you run, help to gather that information and gather that understanding of need. If you overstretch yourself and going to an area that you're not familiar with, then getting the message across is going to be hard, and you're going to waste a lot of time in writing a bid that's not going to have the impact that it needs to have. Finally,
how do you stay motivated for bid writing in the current economic climate?
The current economic climate is difficult. There's a lot more people going for the same bids, and there's far less bids and opportunities out there. The motivation, I think, comes from the knowledge that the voluntary sector does a fantastic job, and also as a manager you have a responsibility to the team to ensure that the money continues to come in to provide a successful service to the individuals within the community who rely upon those services.
Thank you so much for your time, Andrew. Thank you for listening to this podcast. I can refer people as well to the funding pages on the National Family Learning Network website, on our useful documents. There are models and examples and guidance also for bid writing and for going after funding. We wish you success.